Hello!
Hello, friends! Happy show day, and live from my grandmother's basement, we are the Trash People. I'm Emily Pineapple.
And I'm Forrest, the keeper of the Canon.
And today we are celebrating Taylor Garron! Taylor Avery Garron, a name which you will learn much more about as we dive into her stand-up, dive into some of the other awesome shit she is doing, including being the associate editor of my favorite parody online thing that's also print, apparently, Reductress.
And in case you missed it, Taylor Garron was the judge, one of the lawyers, not the judge, one of the lawyers last week on Late Night with Judge Millie.
And she was on Elegance Hour.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes, she was on Elegance Hour.
She was on Elegance Hour. I forget her name in Elegance Hour. It might have just been Taylor Avery Garron because it's a very elegant name. But she was Rachel Peakrum's elegant friend who came to talk to her about elegance. Yeah, it just says Taylor Garron. It doesn't give her a particular name. Whereas it credits Rachel Jarofsky as Daddy Suave. But let me tell you all a fun little bio of Taylor Garron. To get us into things, Taylor Garron is a comedian, writer, and actress based in Brooklyn, New York. She is an editor at Reductress. This is, of course, an old bio. She is formerly an editor, associate editor at Reductress, but did a ton of shit with them. Her work can be seen on The Onion, where she's now writing for Vice, College Humor, and The New Yorker, also Vulture, which we'll talk about. When she's not traveling to this specific burrito tuck in Bloomberg, which is all the time now, unfortunately, you can catch her doing stand-up. You could have caught her. This is just a really sad bio.
I mean, right now it is kind of a sad bio, but you know what's not sad?
What? This moment from CGP with Taylor Garron that you are about to see. It's coming up. We are not vamping. It is gonna be right there for you.
Incredible. Oh, thank you. Wow. It's the tapeworm. It's the tapeworm. Oh my God, that's excellent. I love that.
Thank you so much, Rachel. So, as you know, I've been rich for many generations.
Yes.
My father, a descendant of the man who invented Band-Aids.
Oh my, yes.
We're still not sure why he picks that color. A little confusing. And my mother, a descendant of, we signed an NDA, but let's just say he rhymes with Mamas Mefferson.
Oh, no.
We're not really allowed to talk about that. We did get paid a lot of money, but I digress. I have been rich for many, many years.
Yes, and I love that.
I've spent so much time refining my language, and I'm just here to share with you and our audience a little bit of my knowledge there.
Yes, thank you.
Are we excited?
Thank you.
Are we excited?
We love
I'm
knowledge.
excited.
This is a knowledge is power kind of group.
So I'd like to start out with our first phrase. You may have heard it before.
Yes.
This is what you say. Have you ever heard the phrase, inscrutably so?
Never in my life.
Anyone in the audience?
Never in my life.
Inscrutably so?
I've heard of a scrotum, but I've never heard of a scrotum.
It's related in many ways.
Wow.
In many ways. So inscrutably so is a very specific kind of usage. And you specifically use it when someone has insulted the roast chicken dinner that you spent hours we're not going to say slavery. I signed that NDA. You spent cooking and preparing for your husband who has been cheating on you for many years.
Inscrutably so.
Someone says, oh, this chicken's a bit dry. And you say, inscrutably so. It doesn't really make any sense. It's like the name Colonel. You know how it's spelled a certain way and pronounced a different way?
But then the food thing has a K.
That's an excellent point. That's an excellent point.
Why?
I don't really get what's so funny. This is honest.
Colonel, Caramel.
It's just one of those things that as you grow up,
Really?
you know that the word is pronounced this way.
Is
And as you grow up an incredible millionaire, you learn that this phrase,
Is that Colonel Sanders is spelled with a K?
No.
Oh.
Kernel, like a popcorn kernel.
I think that's so important.
Or a computer kernel in your
audiences
OS.
understand.
No, they're eaten with only spoons.
They're scooping their
Oh
fried
my
rice
goodness.
onto their forks.
Oh, where did the forks go? I lost all of them. Oh no! I put them in the water and then they went down the drain.
It's like get your maid to do it. Anyway, here's a couple of phrases that you may encounter if you're with a more religious crowd. One is heavens.
Oh,
That's what you say. Heavens? That's for prudes. I do want to make that very clear. Sometimes you might hear somebody say, oh, what the hell? That is for the unwashed plebeians. The masses you would run into on the train, for example, in an Uber pool, maybe.
I've never even looked at one.
I actually had to look up what one was before I stepped
No, my finger almost touched it, and I won't be near a pool in
I
my
actually
life.
got that vibe off of you, and that's why I'm sitting all the way over here. We do need you to wash your hands before you touch me again.
Wash your
I
hands.
always wash my hands.
Anyway,
Yes.
the proper phrase for a proper educated young woman would be, oh, eternal purgatory. We're skipping the heavens.
Yes.
We're certainly skipping the hell.
No.
Purgatory is where refined young women who have been unbaptized kind of linger, and that's what you really want to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is excellent.
And now I'm going to move on to a phrase that's from a different language.
Oh.
If the crowd is
Ooh.
willing.
I love another language.
Sure. As you know, I spent many, many years studying abroad in Paris
Oh.
from a very young age, 5, until my parents would have me back at the ripe age of 23. I did spend quite a lot of time
That's
there.
your whole life. If no one noticed, from 5 to 20, that's just a big chunk.
My parents and I have an interesting relationship, but I digress.
Oh,
I spent a lot of time learning French. I am fluent.
oh
And
bonjour.
so, bonjour. That's exactly the word I was going to teach our crowd today. Interesting. As we both know, bonjour in French means
Hello.
soup of the day.
Okay.
That is what you find in some of the finer French restaurants. Maybe you've only been to the regular French restaurant.
I'm mostly going to Le Madeleine.
Ooh, I've heard of it.
I don't know that I can say the name of a place, but Le Madeleine's an excellent restaurant. So that's an advertisement. Actually, that was just an ad. So
I can't really go to restaurants. I'm allergic to so many things. I don't eat meat.
no,
I can't eat shellfish,
No.
nightshades,
No.
white dude cum. None of that.
And they're putting that in more foods now.
They slip it
They're
in.
really putting that in more places. And I said,
They call it a GMO. We know what it is.
and I know what it tastes like. It's different from others. It's worse.
Little sour. But anyway, that's the end of my lesson today.
Oh my goodness. Taylor, thank you so much.
That's
So,
where
yeah,
you've seen her
You have
before.
seen her before.
You have definitely seen her before if you were watching that show, and now you have seen her for sure. Getting a little more into a more positive, I suppose, version of her bio, because the bio before might have suggested that all of the things she was doing before, she's now no longer doing. That's not true. She's doing all sorts of awesome stuff that you can see right now during quarantine, but you may have seen her even before
It's true.
Elegance Hour.
Yeah.
You may have seen her before you were in comedy clubs in New York. You may have seen her before you took her class at the Magnet Theater NY, or any of the other times she's taught classes or written things. Friends, you might have seen her if you were a child allowed to watch PBS in the 90s. That's where you might have seen her. Who remembers the show Zoom? Because I don't.
Yeah, send off in the chat if you remember Zoom. I remember Zoom.
I was not allowed to watch PBS.
Though public broadcasting was off limits for you.
Yeah, because there were commercials, apparently. I
No.
was only allowed to
Wait.
watch Disney Channel.
I guess there were only commercials for PBS.
Same with Disney Channel. I don't
Yeah.
know why my mom didn't let me watch PBS. I was not allowed to watch
You didn't get
PBS.
to see Arthur.
I did not get to see Arthur.
Doing
I
all
had
the
to
science stuff.
sneak watching Arthur, actually. My mom once caught me watching Arthur and was like, that doesn't look like the Disney Channel.
It doesn't sound like a wonderful kind of day.
I don't know.
But
But we have a little thing to show you all about her time on Zoom.
With so many people using Zoom these days, who remembers the children's show, Zoom? This Zoom cast member sure does.
It's definitely brought back some memories in a huge way.
Taylor Garron was on the PBS show back in 2004.
Former Zoom kid.
And it looks like there's a bear.
Here's Taylor in a Goldilocks sketch.
Now let's see. This could use a few touches. This chair needs be the throw pillow.
When was the last time you watched this?
She's elegant even as a
Yeah.
Kind
child.
of. I feel like sometimes people send me these videos to just like mess with me a little bit.
Zoom premiered on Boston station WGBH in the 70s, followed by a reboot in 1999.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, 2, 1, 3, 4. Send it to Zoom.
A 20th anniversary reunion was held last year, and Taylor was there.
It was such a cool part of my life, and it's something that I remember very fondly.
She auditioned after seeing an open call notice on TV at the end of an episode. Now, 16 years later, Taylor is a writer and stand-up comedian.
So yeah, my name is Taylor Avery Garron. That's my whole name. My parents, both of whom are African American, named me that, and they were dead serious about it.
While in self-quarantine, she's one of several former Zoomers helping produce Zoom-like content on WGBH's social media.
Oh,
Isn't that cute as shit?
Yeah.
And the Zoomers are ready to go.
that's
Every
so
day,
cool.
That's what I'm
former cast
saying,
members
like-
are sharing activities from the show that
And not
kids
just-
can do at
yeah.
home.
But isn't that cute?
Pablo was a cast member on the 1999 season.
With everything going on and a lot of families at home, my friends and former castmates from both the 70s and 90s versions of Zoom are getting back together to bring a little nostalgia and inspiration your way.
So I have mashed up.
He has
my
such big like
guacamole,
teacher vibes.
Yeah.
Here's Donna Moore
Yeah.
showing everyone
Teacher
how
of young
easy it
children
is to make
vibes.
guac from home.
larger pieces of the avocado just because I enjoy it more like that.
Tip marker.
Eric Rollins was also on the show.
No,
Oh, wow.
the marker should just barely touch the paper.
For Taylor, all this zooming is a flashback to her childhood.
My life feels very PBS Kids Zoom right now.
You got this cut up here for a while. It's been a long.
I'm Lee Sheps.
That was Lee Sheps, and that was Inside Edition. Talking
That
about
was
her
so
time
cool.
on Zoom. Isn't that really cool and adorable?
Yeah.
It's really awesome hearing her talk about those experiences so fondly.
Yeah, well, and I mean, it's funny because I remember when we were watching Late Night with Judge Millie, one of the things that struck me was just how much of a natural she
Yes.
was on camera.
Yeah.
And well, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, she's
been doing it forever. She's clearly like had an interest in it forever. And she's really turned that into a lot of interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Like This Is Gatsby. She turned her writing into This Cat. No.
who's decided not to be on camera. Today.
Yeah, he's not ready for his close-up, Mr. DeMille. But she got her degree or whatever in communications with her minor in film, went on to do a bunch of like video production internships, created an original web series in like between 2015 and 2017 called The Struggle, which I was not able to find online. I think probably because it says there, current responsibilities include post-production video and sound editing and marketing festival research. So
yeah.
hopefully it is in some kind of form that will be shared somewhere, receive acclaim, and then we will be able to purchase and view it.
I hope so.
Because she's been doing some cool shit. And it seems like it'd be really cool, especially because then in 2017, I found her LinkedIn. I'm not a stalker. I just Googled her name and it came up and it had a lot of good information that made me excited. She started as an editorial intern at Reductress and worked her way up to being the associate editor. She was one of like 3 women who were the editors of Reductress, which is my favorite freaking satire website. It's all about just girl bullshit, and I love it. And here's a bunch of the titles of her articles. Yeah. Some of these articles, a lot of them you can just read online. A lot of them are also in the print version. But she, as the associate editor, she pitched, she wrote, she edited other people's satirical articles. She worked with different contributors, and she's really not just a performer.
No.
She has a ton of behind the scenes production and writing skills that I think really shine out in all of her performances. My favorite she's currently writing for Vulture, doing some cool stuff, and you can see her every week on Follow Fridays on Vulture's Instagram, where she interviews comedians, because it usually was just, like a fucking follow people.
Right.
But now she talks to these people. For example, Julia Claire, Tim Barnes.
Julia Claire has been on Chris Kevin Presents.
Exactly. So all of these really funny, hilarious things. Joey
Dardano too.
Joey Gardano,
of course, Martin's co-host.
Jamie Loftus
on Amateur
Godoye Travis.
Godoye
of Martin Urbano fame.
fame.
Danny Fernandez.
Carmen Christopher.
Who else do we know here? Anyone?
Io, I know.
You know?
Karen Chi, I know. Josh
Gondelman,
of course.
Meg Stalter.
Tim Platt. Yeah, no, I know Sydney Washington, who was also on CGP.
I know so few of these
Sydney
people.
Washington was the host of one of the 3 shows on Josh Sharp's episode of CGP.
Yes, I remember.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
So it's really, really awesome. You should all, and they have all of the archives, so you can watch those. Those are like 25-minute long episodes.
So many of these.
So I definitely,
Rachel Jarofsky.
Yeah, I definitely recommend just like sitting down and giving those a watch. But for right now, what I think I want to show off to all of you, we pulled up the Reductress, correct?
Oh yeah.
Articles. That was a table under this table that just fell. Everything's okay. Nothing's broken. Nothing is broken.
We pull up Reductress now.
Yeah, because I wanted to show off some of the funnier articles. For example, why I stopped comparing myself to others and started comparing myself to this stock photo of me. Reductress took 2 summers ago when I was thinner. This is in the print edition, so we only get the fucking awesome title.
That's such a great headline.
I'm using my white privilege to talk about my white privilege. My favorite one was, because it felt like my life, how I'm raising anti-racist children by sending them to a majority white public school. You could have just subbed in private school, and it's like, behold, Marin. So that's really funny. Everyone should read that.
This looks so good.
And just, it makes me really happy that she clearly had so much of a mark of her writing style on so many Reductress articles for so long, because I particularly love that voice.
It's also just cool to see someone's work as a writer after first encountering them as a live performer in general, because it's so cool to see that multifaceted element of their creativity in a way that you don't always get to see.
It's a bit like Joe Rumroll.
Yeah, it's a lot like Joe Rumroll, who writes for Hard Times.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of the satirical, dumbass, cracked-styled websites, but way better than Cracked. Cracked was just the first one. Okay, let's watch a stand-up video of Taylor. Yes. So I have 2 stand-up videos that I want to show you, and I'm really excited to show you these 2 because you get to see the evolution of some jokes. You get to see unique jokes in each of these. We get to have a fun idea.
Apologies for that audio right there.
We get to have an awesome idea of her stand-up voice. And these are 2019 and then 2020 right afterwards. So I invite you all to enjoy this stand-up with us.
Did we like that? That was improv. Cool. All right, couple of things. I was going to start my set off differently, but I feel like I need to comment on a few things. 1, I've never been to an equinox. Not going to happen. Simply not going to happen. 2, I've been learning a lot of things about white people lately. And it's weird because when you're Black, or just like a person of color in general, you kind of grow up steeped in whiteness and you're surrounded by it all the time. So there's not a lot to learn, but I'm learning.
I like how you nodded like you knew.
It's our culture.
True.
I don't know from experience.
White girls get their hair wet all the time. I'm not hating on you, Ava. I'm like really happy for you that you got to do that. I'm pouring water all over my head. I'm like, I gotta get a blowout. Like, I don't have the proper stuff. I don't have the edge control. Like, it's just, it's unrealistic. You know what I mean? The other thing I realized recently is that white people have one type of dog their whole lives. And if anyone wants to fight me on this, then we can talk about it. But it's something that I've noticed, and it's not a bad thing, you know? I went to date this guy recently who only had basset hounds. I'm like, this is the only reason why basset hounds still exist. They're abominations. They shouldn't exist anymore. Sometimes it's golden retrievers, sometimes it's like, I don't know. Anyway, I'm learning a lot, is what I'm saying. And I appreciate the cultural exchange. So yeah, my name is Taylor Avery Garron. That's my whole name. My parents, both of whom are African American, named me that, and they were dead serious about it. It's especially a slap in the face because they named my brother Malik Osiris Garron. I'm just kidding, his name is Bryce. They were serious about it. My mom loves to remind me that she did this on purpose, and she's like very Angela Davis, so she had a whole reasoning behind it. And the reasoning was that white names, well, blacker sounding names on resumes get fewer interviews than whiter sounding names. That's not a joke, that's true. It's fucked up, but this is America. You know? So she did it so that I would never have to worry about someone knowing I was black before they interviewed me. Good for her. A little did she know that I would be in an industry one day, I'm a writer, that would be trying to superficially diversify. And that having a wider sounding name would be to my detriment. Because I know I send in packets and I send in resumes and stuff, and these showrunners, they're looking at my resume like, Taylor Avery Garron, huh? No, I think he played lacrosse with my son at Dartmouth. I don't think we need another one. I have been feeling a little dysmorphic lately. Anyone feeling that body dysmorphia out there? Super fun. Love it. I know that I'm putting on a little bit of weight because I went home this weekend for Cape Verdean Independence Day. We can talk about that. You holler at me after the show. I'll tell you all about the country that I am not from. But my cousins, my black female cousins were like, damn, taking dick. And I was like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up about it. But I've been stressing a little bit about it. I'm trying to like come to terms with that. And I'm trying to like get to know my body in many ways, which is powerful and everyone should really do that. For instance, I now can pinpoint exactly if I haven't taken my birth control. Like the next day, if I forget to take it, I know exactly why. And I learned this through an example the other day. I was walking down the street. I just got ghosted. Typical, right? No big deal. I was like, mind over mattering it. Walking down the street, car drove by playing Fast Car by Tracy Chapman. I sobbed. And I looked at the pack and I was like, that's what it was. Took it, doing all right. Let's see, what else? The political game, getting crazy. We can all agree on that, right? And the thing for me is I've been getting a little, this is hard to say, but my beliefs are becoming more right-wing. Hear me out. And only in one way. And it's in that I think our generation needs to grow up a little bit. I do. And I'll give you an example. I've been seeing a lot of cashless restaurants. Have y'all seen this? You have to use your credit card, you can't use cash. Grow the fuck up. I mean, like, let your employees get robbed at gunpoint. Like, it builds character. I dated a lot of weed dealers in high school. There's just a certain je ne sais quoi that comes with having someone take your money at the end of the night. Also, a lot of my friends having babies, I'm at that age, a lot of my friends having babies, specifically the white ones. Again, I'm from Massachusetts. And they're having a lot of white babies. Grow the fuck up. Have a mixed baby. You know what I mean? Like, do what's right. I get that that's problematic. I get that Neema's gonna be pissed about it, you know? I get that your white boyfriend's gonna be pissed about it. And again, I wanna make it clear that I'm not a reverse racist, because that's not a thing. But I wanna say that I'm not saying that it's wrong to have a white baby, I'm just saying that it's cowardly. Just do the correct thing. Right? Okay, quick poll of you guys. Do y'all ever, say you're in an office setting, right? You got a piece of trash. You crumple it up and you throw it across the room and it makes it into the trash can. No interference, just sinks it and it cures your clinical depression. No, cool, great. Follow-up question. Anyone seeing a therapist? Hell yeah. I was until I lost my insurance. Working on it though. We were doing good. We were doing really good. She pissed me off when I was still seeing her we were very tight. She said this thing that just rubbed me the wrong way. She told me that I was dating wrong. And I said, okay. Why don't you explain what you mean to me by that? And she said, okay, the last person that you swiped right on, what made you swipe right on them? Like, what was it about them that made you want to go on a date with them? And I said, first, bold of you to assume that the last person I went on a date on, I met on a dating app. You were right, but like chill. Secondly, I told her I went on a date with this guy. I swiped right on him because his first name was Garron, and that's my last name. And that's funny to me. She just looked at me. It's actually a true story. I went on a date with this guy named Garron, and we had a couple drinks. We met up, and I was like, I have to be honest with you. I swiped right on you. You're cute and all, but like also your first name is my last name. Your first name is Garron. So if this is the first date. So if we ever get married, you will have to change your last name to my last name. Because then your name will be Garron. We did not go on a second date.
Coward.
I've been trying to kind of diversify my dating. Again, I'm going to keep bringing this up. I am from Massachusetts. It's not super diverse there. But I moved to New York and now I'm like, cool, I can date all around. That's a beautiful thing. And it turns out there's not a huge difference in terms of dating across the spectrum. I guess I went on a date with a white dude recently, and he told me that he really liked my weave. Earnestly. Hold on, let me say, this makes more sense if my hair is down or not. Let me try that again. So I went on a date with a white guy recently, and he told me he liked my weave, and he was very earnest about it. And we had a teachable moment, because I did have to say that this is not a weave, but this is just my hair. And after a little bit of conversation, we realized that that is just what he thought Black women called their hair. We did not go on a second date. Recently, I went on a date with a Black dude, also, again, mixing it up. And we had a couple of drinks, and he said, I like your body. You know what I mean? You like slim, thick. You know what I mean? It was very embarrassing for both of us because I did have to say, I don't know what you mean. Did we go on a second date? No. Cool. Y'all are catching on. The main difference I'm realizing is that there's a difference in how white dudes versus Black dudes have sex. Not a huge one. It's just that white dudes tend to stroke on the 1-3 instead of the 2-4. So it'd be hard to catch a rhythm there. Are we excited about the warm weather? Good. Yes? No? Cool? I disagree with whatever you said. I'm not excited about the weather for many reasons. One, my hair looks like this. There's nothing I can do about it. Two is that in the summer, you can't be just like clinically depressed and chilling. Like people are like, why are you so sad? The weather's beautiful. Like, go take a walk. Like, yeah, that'll change things. In the winter, I can just be like, yeah, I'm depressed. They're like, I got it. Oh, it's snowing. I'm like, yeah, it's a snow. It's a snow. I think my least favorite part, though, is that I live in this neighborhood very close by, and the catcalling around here is just awful. Just bad. But at least people get creative. I will give them that. One time I got, yo, what's up, sexy Rihanna? Which is redundant. You don't have to say both those words. 2 separate occasions from 2 different men on 2 different days who did not know each other, I assume. I got, okay, I see you over there, Prince. Which is like, I do want to make it clear I'm not offended by that at all. But it's very flattering to me. Prince was very good looking. But I really wish I could have caught up to those men and just been like, I want you to explore that. I'm happy for you. I want you to explore that more. Probably the most accurate one I've gotten is, I see you over there, Rosario Dawson. Okay, that one I can kind of see, right? It's not like so far off. Although I am wondering where all these crackheads have seen the movie Kids. Not a household name, right? Okay, I'm sorry to end on such a negative note, but this is actually the worst one. The most disrespectful one I've ever gotten. It was so horrible, it made my skin crawl, and I felt like I needed to shower afterwards. But I was walking this way down the street, this guy was walking this way, and he waited until he got right in my ear. Men do that. Yeah, they do that because they know what they're doing is shameful, and they don't want anyone else to hear it, but they're going to do it anyway. But he got right into my ear, and he said, damn, baby, You don't look a day over 18. Right? I was like, oh, so disrespectful, especially because I know I don't look a day over 16. Thank you guys very much.
Amazing. So that's 2009.
I also like how it looks like we're at that club.
Oh, it
Like the
totally
lighting.
does. We're there. Guys, we have the Tower of Time and Space, and we have paused Taylor Garron as she runs off stage to run onto stage for the next clip, which was taken in 2020, January of 2020.
At the Bell House.
At the Bell House. So, friends, you're going to see some of those jokes further explored and some new jokes, and I just really love it, and especially because she's a writer, I felt like there was a lot of cool stuff to appreciate in her sets. She has 3 of them online. She has a 2018, 2019, and 2020 sets.
So you said that was 2019, the one we just
That
watched?
was 2019.
Not 2009.
I was wrong. 2019,
Okay.
and this is 2020.
It is cool, though, one thing before we get into it, I think, how you can see how it crystallizes how much of an influence her voice has had on Reductress.
Yeah.
Because you can see the similarities and some of the common through lines and structures and all that. So,
yeah, that was really fun learning about one of my favorite things.
Yeah. So here's this video.
Thank you. Okay, so just at the top of my set, I want to get this out of the way. I have a couple of jokes about race in my set. So I just want to double check. Any racists in the audience? This is a safe space, you can say it. Y'all made your bed. All right, so yeah, my name is Taylor Avery Garron. That's my whole name. My parents, both of whom are African American, named me that, and they were dead serious about it. It's especially a slap in my face because they named my older brother Malik Osiris Garron. I'm just kidding. His name is Bryce. They leaned in. Thank you, Colleen. My mom loves to remind me that she did it on purpose. And her reasoning was, this is not a joke, because whiter sounding names on resumes are more likely to get interviews. Yeah, it's a bummer, but like, this is America. So she did it so that I would have a chance later in life. Little did she know that one day I would be in an industry, I'm a writer, that would be trying to superficially diversify. And so having this name would be to my detriment. Because I know there are showrunners and hiring managers out there looking at my resume and my packets like, Taylor Avery Garron, huh? No, I think he played lacrosse with my son at Dartmouth. I don't think we need another one. Clovis. You know what I mean? Clovis. Being black is lit. Not all the time. I get it. You know, not all the time. Like 3/5 of the time. Okay, some of us took AP US history. And good for y'all. Private school. But no, it's great. And thankfully I run with like a pretty woke crew of friends. So we can like have conversations about race. We can talk about tricky things like that. And that's like very refreshing to be around those people. Although we do spend a lot of time talking about white privilege, I'm bored. You know what I mean? Like, let's move past it. Like, let's talk about riskier things. Let's talk about black privilege. Ooh. There's only 3 of them, so it's not going to take that long. We'll talk about it right now. Number 1 is that I've never had a sunburn in my whole life. Never once. And I'm friends with a lot of Irish people. So sorry, y'all. You guys peel? It's not for me. Number 2 is that I get helped immediately in department stores, like really quickly. They want to help me find what I'm looking for. In fact, actually, sometimes they will escort an item in my hand to the register for me. Not to brag. And number 3 is that I can have really shitty taste in music, and white men think that's interesting. Like, I told plenty of white guys that my favorite band at my big age is Animal Collective. And instead of being like, that's incredibly embarrassing, you're in your late 20s, they're like, ooh, she different. Talk a little bit more about that later. Did everyone have a good holiday? Yeah, everyone have a good holiday? Good. I like the holidays. I identify as a corny American, so holidays fit right into my corniness. I'm saying corny is just hard to hear on this. I'm not horny. I want to make that clear. Yeah, Christmas is actually not my favorite holiday. My favorite is Juneteenth for obvious reasons. But my second favorite is Halloween. Any Halloween heads in the audience? I love Halloween. I love costume. I love crafting. I love all that. My favorite thing about Halloween, though, is going onto the subway and seeing which groups of white girlfriends could not find a scary spice. It's most of them. This year I dressed up as sexy MF Doom for Halloween. Nobody got it. It was a fail, but I got it. That was enough. Last year I was sexy cast member from the PBS hit show Zoom. Everyone was very upset. My friends were like, Taylor, you can't be a sexy kid for Halloween. And I was like, that show ended in 2005. They're all adults now. And it's okay. Like, grow up, you know. In fact, there's actually quite a few people in my life that need to grow up. And this is my boomerist opinion. I will get that out of the way. For example, my parents have been married for 33 years. Yeah. Grow up. You know? One of you needs to cheat on the other. I'm too stable and it's not good for my comedy. You know? Also, I only have one Christmas. Come on. You know, one birthday, that's bullshit. I work in Flatiron, and so every day for lunch I have to go to one of those like salad places that charges you $19 for like a couple of leaves and like a piece of fish. And none of them take cash. They're all cashless. You guys know about those like cashless restaurants? They're everywhere. Grow up. Let your employees get robbed at gunpoint. I get what they're trying to do. I understand it. But there's a certain, as someone who's dated quite a few drug dealers, there's a certain je ne sais quoi that comes with having your money taken at the business end of a gun. And I think we need to allow our youths to experience that. I'm at that age where a lot of my friends are having babies. A lot of my white friends having little white babies. Grow the fuck up. Have a mixed baby. I know me mom's gonna be pissed. I know your white boyfriend's gonna be really pissed. But I think that we all can do what is right for the future. And at this point in my set, I do feel like I have to say that I'm not a reverse racist. I want to make that clear because that is not a thing. I don't think that having a white baby is wrong. I just think it's cowardly and that we all can do better. Let's grow up. Who's seeing a therapist? Raise your hand. Yes. Cool. If y'all are here on a Friday night instead of like out with your friends, go see a therapist. There should be more hands up. I was seeing a therapist until I turned 26 and lost my insurance. So now I'm just doing life a cappella. But before then, I was actually very tight with my therapist. We got along very well. We had beef exactly once. And it was because she told me I was, quote, dating wrong. And I gave her a moment to explain herself before I popped off. And she said, Taylor, the last time you swiped right on somebody, what was the reason you swiped right on them? Like, what was it about them that made you want to date them? And I said, wow, incredibly bold of you to assume that I met the last person I was dating on a dating app. You were correct, but let's take it easy. Secondly, the reason I swiped right and the last person I swiped right on was because his first name was Garron, and that's my last name, and that's incredibly funny to me. That is a true story. I went on a date with this guy named Garron. We had a couple of drinks. It was pretty cute. We had a great time. And then once we were a little tipsy on our first date, I told him that if we ever got married, that he would have to take my last name. Because then his name would be Garron. Garron, we did not go on a second date. I am seeing someone right now. He is uncircumcised, my little uncut gem. That's a new one. I'm glad people liked it. And he's an immigrant, which is a bit of a struggle, but he's white, so I'm not that worried. He is from Australia, so needless to say, we did the holidays at mine this year. Sorry, that wasn't okay. I'm really sorry, mate, in the audience. My bad, yeah. I really don't like flying, so I'm like hoping that I never have to go and see his family. That's a 20-hour flight. That's a long-ass flight. No, thank you. If I do ever go, I am keeping the idea that koalas are my favorite animal, and that's kind of the only place they exist. In no small part because they all have chlamydia. Do we know about this? Koalas all have chlamydia, and I'm sex positive, so they're like. I was trying to kind of branch out in dating. I moved here from Massachusetts, and specifically Western Massachusetts, and it's very white. And so kind of all my options were white guys, and that's fine. But I moved to Brooklyn, now I'm like, wow, I can date whoever I want, a woman even. I can date across the whole spectrum, and that's great. And I realized, actually, in my years of dating, that there's actually not much of a difference in terms of dating across the racial spectrum. You know what I mean? Like, all dick is abhorrent. I think we can agree on that. There's one difference, and it's when it comes to having sex. And it's not what you think. It's not the stereotype, It's just that when white guys have sex, they tend to stroke on the 1-3 instead of the 2-4. So it can be a little bit difficult to catch a rhythm there. But again, my favorite band is Animal Collective. So I love a funky punch signature. Thank you guys very much.
Oh man. My favorite part about that, getting to see those back to back, is there were a lot of reasons why I love seeing them back to back. My favorite thing is seeing the grow up bit weaved in. She just took so much more time with it, and I feel like oh my gosh!
Oh my God! Hello!
Taylor Garron. Hello. Thank you so much for being here. We're just watching your videos and talking about how awesome they are.
Yeah.
We were just watching the 2020 set, and I thought that the grow up, that one was so like amazing. Hi. That's really cool. Thank you so much for having been on 2 awesome CGP things. We loved it. Yeah. And oh my God, of course. And if there's anything that you want to plug where people can find you, please let us know so that we can do that. I know you're doing Vultures Follow Fridays and some other really cool stuff in addition to just writing more articles and doing more writing. I think that's why it's so much fun to actually watch the sets back to back. Yeah. Because there are writerly comics, I'm not sure what I would describe non-writerly comics as. Maybe like I tend to really gravitate towards writerly. Taylor Garron on Twitter and Instagram. Everyone follow Taylor. Does Taylor have 10K followers?
And on Vulture every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. So that's
day after tomorrow.
3 hours before it is in Pacific time. Math is bad, even though I did go to private school. Yeah. Yeah. So that was really cool. I'm wondering what I would call writer or comics who are not writerly comics.
I don't know.
I feel like Carmen Christopher is more of a right? Like it's just different, right? I need to think about this more.
Yes, it's 10 a.m. Pacific. Thank you, Henry.
Thank you so much, Henry. Henry, always awesome. Everyone tell Taylor how much they love her. And if you have something specific that you have loved from what you saw, let her know.
I loved the joke about having gone as a sexy Zoom cast member.
Which, like, I watched those sets before I knew about the Zoom thing. So I was just like, 90s TV, I guess, I'll ask Forrest about it later because he knows all of the references and jokes. And then I saw the Zoom stuff and was like, oh my God.
That was such a good joke.
So that made me very happy. I really liked watching that voice and seeing the voice that I came to love so much on Reductress be like surprised, like, oh, hello, this is a person that you've seen. And they're doing the thing. I really want to share another video of yours. This was I want to share the Comedy Central one.
Oh, yes.
Because Comedy Central they have a lot, the Comedy Central originals, they've seen a lot of different comedians have stories on there. And I really feel like they did probably the least amount of terrible editing with this. Yes! Yes, oh my God, the stock image.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite of your Reductress articles.
Oh God.
I love it.
That was super fun. But I really want to share the Comedy Central one because I think that's the thing I often see with non-writerly comics, Comedy Central fucks up their stories.
Mm-mm.
They just edit them weird.
Oh, that was, yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was her last one.
Oh, that's sad, but I think that your legacy is so amazing on it. I mean, I've been reading your old articles and they've been making me really happy as I like sit in bed like with nothing to do. This is a really awesome video. I feel like Comedy Central didn't fuck it up. They do so often and it pisses me off. Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't have
Put
audio
your
on.
phone on
at the beginning, so I'm
airplane
gonna-
mode.
There it goes.
I'm Taylor Garron, and if you're gonna hook up in the woods, put your phone on airplane mode. I was in high school. One of the privileges that seniors at my high school had was that you could get an internship that would get you out of the last period of class and also lunch if you wanted. I did want. And it wasn't for any nefarious purpose. At first, I got an internship at this local newspaper. It was very cute. I actually spent most of my time writing obituaries. Now that I'm saying it out loud, not as glamorous. I also was like kind of an emo kid, like listened to a lot of Taking Back Sunday. Writing obituaries was very on brand for me. I thought it was cool. I spent the whole of my high school career being an incredible overachiever. Student advisory council, drama club, show choir, international club, very Catholic. Let's just say that I wasn't a cool kid. I also was a mega virgin. This kind of speaks back to the Catholic thing. That was like what my friends knew me for. Then I discovered weed. Then I discovered that I want to have sex with. There was a local college in one town over. My dad actually worked on campus, which made the fact that I started dating a guy who was a freshman a little tricky for me because I couldn't sleep at his dorm room without having to sneak around and not run into my dad. You know what I mean? One time we went to the school cafeteria. I was there in my boyfriend's sweatpants and sweatshirt from the night before. My dad walked by. We ducked under a table. It worked out. He didn't see me. Maybe he didn't. He just pretended not to. Thanks, Dad. So we came up with a plan. We were going to hook up. We were going to figure out a place to do it. Obviously couldn't do it at my house. His Volkswagen was not going to work. Couldn't do it in his dorm room on campus. We eventually settled on the woods. It's got everything. Really uncomfortable leaves and sticks on the ground. A great place to smoke really shitty weed. That was pretty much it, but it was basically a place that we could be alone. I decided that I was going to both skip lunch and skip my internship by calling into my boss. I'm really, really sorry I left school early today. I'm just like not feeling well. I was in the drama club. This is the most scandalous thing that I'd ever done. Who was I? And I did it anyway. I feel a little bad about that now that I'm saying it out loud, but that is the Catholicism and I'm trying to repress it. So I called in sick, it all worked out. My boyfriend picked me up from school and we drove into the woods in the next town over. He had rolled a joint shittily. Weed, I remember very vividly being just awful. And I just started smoking weed, so I really had no kind of metric, but we were being bad. And then we got down to business. We started hooking, to say the least. We're rolling over sticks. My Catholic upbringing, the guilt was coursing. We're crunching leaves, yada, yada, yada. Eventually, we're done. We smoke a little bit more weed and we head out of the woods. And I realized that I had a bunch of missed calls, one message from my boss telling me to call her back. And it had turned out I had called the newsroom repeatedly with my ass. I was shocked. Of all of the places I could have butt dialed, Domino's Pizza, my parents' house, President of the United States, the one place I would have gotten through was this newsroom. Journalists answered the phone. Good ones. And mine were just great. And they took the calls. They all listened.
Sticks, crunching weed, yada, yada, yada.
They pieced together what was going on my sick day, like a good journalist would. And I do respect them for that. At this point, the high is completely gone. My boyfriend was stoned. He didn't care. Now I'm thinking, oh, fuck, I let this college freshman take away my chances of college. Like, what was I thinking? I was already in the headspace of writing obituaries. I thought about writing my own. My life was over. Everything that I had worked for as an overachiever of years was gone in this moment. I could see my future dissolving before me. And that's the long-term thing. Short term, I could see myself getting fired from this internship and not being able to graduate high school because I didn't have enough credits. I went to the newsroom the next day and entered to just a cacophony of laughter. Very embarrassing, humiliating. I did a reverse walk of shame into my boss's office. I sat down. She told me how disappointed she was in me. And then she told me that if I ever needed to take a mental health day, a sick day, just a day off, that I could totally just come to her and say that, which would have been super helpful 24 hours previous. To make matters worse, my mom, small town, knew everyone in my city. Guess who she knew especially well because she went to our Catholic church. my boss in the newsroom. I never found out if my dad actually knew. Thank you, Dad, for pretending you didn't know if you did. In the end, what did I learn? Because this is an internship and you're supposed to learn. If you're going to hook up with a college dude in the woods, make sure that your phone is elsewhere. If you're going to get an internship in your hometown where your mom knows everybody, make sure that you don't do something that your mom would find out from everybody. And that it turns out middle-aged obituary writers, actually pretty cool, I guess.
Oh, that was such a good story.
That was a really good story. I expect that Taylor probably told it on Reductus's Ha Ha Wow, which was a sort of combo stand-up that she hosted in New York back when hosting things live in New York occurred.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Katie Smith,
super fun stuff. A really great story. I think that was one of the best edited Comedy Central ones because, like I said, they often really fuck it up. They make it really fast paced, and that doesn't work with everyone's delivery style.
But it did, I think, work with Taylor's.
I think it works really well with Taylor's style because there is so much packed into every sentence, into every word, into all those things. I feel like there's something like funny everywhere, and it's very easily to jump from one part to another without,
Yes.
Comedy Central did do an excellent job with that.
And the narrative through line is so clear in the way you tell it that all those sort of the callbacks and like the echoes that they edited in were very good.
Ooh, this is a good question. Was your mother more disappointed by Sexy Time or the Reefer? I think that my mother would have been more disappointed in the Sexy Time. You're being so talented and amazing and bringing us so much joy even before we knew it was you bringing us joy. And it's especially for me at least, Taylor's.
Oh, wow. Well, that answers that one.
I don't know what my mom would be way more disappointed in the lead. But I feel like your experience speaks very directly to mine growing up in like a rich ass, I'm a white girl, so obviously not, but like having to go into the woods to fuck your high school boyfriend. Yes. Living in a very small white town. Yes. Being sent to private school.
The notion of the woods being the convenient place.
The notion of the woods being the convenient. It was the most convenient place. Marin County has very convenient woods. But
in Richmond, California, it was not the convenient
can we get a rating on Sexy Time in the Woods?
That's what Fukumoto's question
I'll rate that. I'm going to rate that a solid 4 and under. Honestly, like...
well, what's your scale?
My scale is...
Is it out of 5 or out of 10?
It's out of 10.
Okay,
I don't emerge with a bunch of bug bites all over the place, and I'm not on a fucking thing. Yeah, Sexy Time was unmemorable. Honestly, in the woods, the only memorable part is that you're in the fucking woods, and it's annoying to have sex in the woods. But
also, look, we have about 4 minutes left, so we also want to mention that everyone should go to the Planet Scum Discord.
Yes.
Which actually, fun little thing
pre-show
I cooked up for our Twitch channel is if you do !Discord, it should, there it goes. It posts a link to the Planet Scum Discord because next up is the pre-show with Jake and Molly, where they'll be doing a version of the Night of Zero Laughs, the Chris Gethard Show classic.
The Night of Zero Laughs, not the kind of night that you will have if you ingest all of Taylor's stuff.
No.
There aren't too many videos on YouTube. There's, I think,
place that we found.
There's like 4. Oh, let's show the trailer.
Okay.
Let's show the trailer. Oh my God, it's perfect amount of time.
Yes.
Taylor was in a feature film. She was in a feature film called The Things That We Do While We're Alone, and it looks gorgeous. Super interesting. I wasn't able to find a place where I could rent it or see it. I think it's still probably going through the festival thing, but there are some really cool interviews with the director online. The shots make it look like it's in San Francisco, so I was just kind of like, even though it's Atlanta.
We are in San Francisco. But she stars in it.
Yeah, we are in San Francisco. But she is the starring role. So let's watch. Oh my God, really?
Wow. Thank you.
Oh my
you.
God, that's so cool.
Wow.
Oh my God. Is it getting any acclaim? Is it going to any award
Awards,
thingies?
festivals. But we should watch it because we're running low on time. So let me.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
She's
cool.
making
You're making another film. That's
with
so
the
cool.
same woman. That's super exciting. Can you tell us? Well, we'll play the thing.
We'll play this. Because we want to make sure.
I wonder if you can give us a tagline of it, because as I think a lot of you will connect with this, honestly. It's like the Chris Gethard fan anthem, essentially.
Jess, Kels.
Hey,
Hey.
I didn't know you guys were coming.
Yeah, of course. Well, thanks to Elle's lover man.
Don't start. Oh, Dominic. He's so weird.
What are you guys doing? Come sit over here.
They're with us.
You guys want some?
Yeah.
Sure.
So you're coming to my party on Friday, right?
Will Andrew be there?
I think so.
Then yes.
This one, a little player, I'm telling you.
I have flavors of the week.
What can I wear?
You guys good?
Yeah. I wonder what they do all day.
I don't know. How do you make pasta and read?
Hey, excuse me.
Hey, what's up?
We're your biggest fans.
Oh, no shit. It's nice to meet you. How do you guys know about the band?
I don't remember.
Long time listener?
Well, I'm glad you guys came out. It's nice to feel the love.
You're very welcome. Thanks for changing my life and making me feel like it's worth living.
Oh.
Shit. That is deep.
Yeah.
What are your names?
I'm Cassidy.
I'm Jess.
Chelsea. Elena.
I'm Ross. Look, come see me after the show.
Okay.
All right, I gotta get set up, but I'll see you girls later.
Bye, Ross.
Bye.
I'm gonna stay 18 forever, so we can stay like this forever.
Oh, hopefully I get to see you tonight.
Well, I guess if we're going to the show tonight, then we should probably go home and get ready.
I mean, I think you look just fine right now.
Have you guys seen the video for Sick Transit yet?
Oh, yeah.
It's so sick.
What do you think the goat means, though?
It's a sheep. I think it's about like being a limit and like playing God. How it makes you want to kill yourself.
I didn't even think about it like that.
The coolest kids, and we take what we can get.
So yeah,
That looks so good.
everyone needs to go to the Discord for the
Yes.
pre-show right now. Thank you so much, Taylor
Thank you,
Garron,
Taylor.
for being here. Everyone follow Taylor Garron at Taylor Garron on Instagram and
Yes.
Twitter, and tweet at her the things that you love.
Yeah, definitely do.
From her stuff, and be in anticipation for her next film.
Yes, and all the videos that we celebrated today and some extras, will be in the show description a few minutes after this ends. So thank you
so
Taylor.
much, Taylor. It was such a delight to be introduced to you. Everyone can go to the Discord right now. Follow Taylor Garron. Follow your give money to the Planet Scum shows, and thank you so much, Dick McDougal. And good night and good climb,
Good night and
friends.
good climb.